Whether you are looking to renovate your kitchen or you are a plumber looking for all kind of pipe fittings, there is one place that comes to your mind, and that is Home Depot. Home Depot is the world's largest home improvement retailer with over 2,300 stores across North America. Last year, Home Depot generated 151 billion sales with over 16 billion profit. However, building Home Depot into the largest home improvement retailer in the world wasn't an easy task. It all started when two executives got fired from their high-paying jobs at the same day. On April 14, 1978, Bernie Marcus and Arthur Blank, president and vice president of Handy Dan Home Improvement Center, were invited for company's budget meeting. After hours of preparation, the duo went to the headquarters with the idea of making a good presentation. But things didn't happen as they expected. Both Bernie and Marcus got fired from their job at the same time. This was a huge disappointment for them, as they were doing very well in their job. Having lost their jobs, Bernie and Arthur were anxious about their future and committed to find a new way to earn quick bucks. In an afternoon, while having a cup of coffee, they came up with the wildest dream of their life: starting their own home improvement retail business. Their idea was simple: opening a large store with a lot of inventory and very low pricing. After planning for several months, with the help of investor Ken Langan, Bernie and Marcus launched their first store in Atlanta on June 14, 1979. They called it Home Depot. The store was 60,000 square feet in size, significantly bigger than their competitors. But there was one problem. First, Home Depot's store couldn't find enough merchandise to fill up their large store, as suppliers didn't trust on this new concept. But this didn't discourage them. They ordered empty boxes and padded them up into shelves. In the early days, any business has a hard time finding customers. This wasn't an exemption for Home Depot. People in Atlanta had been shopping with traditional stores for years. They went to paint stores for paint and plumbing stores for pipe fittings. However, Home Depot had an advantage. First, Home Depot's store was next to JCPenney's store, one of the biggest department stores at the time. When wives went shopping in JCPenney's store, husbands spent time in Home Depot stores. People who walked into the stores were surprised by the sheer volume of merchandise and rock-bottom prices. In addition to that, Home Depot's stores didn't look like a tidy supermarket. It actually looked like a messy warehouse. This gave the idea to people that they could find anything they want in Home Depot stores. And soon, Home Depot was crowded with customers. Between 1980 and 1981, company sales began increasing dramatically, and in 1981, Home Depot listed in the stock market. Initial offerings generated $4 million. With more money in hand, Bernie and Marcus were eager to expand their business further. In 1984, Home Depot acquired Bowater Home Center for $38.4 million. But this acquisition was a costly mistake for Home Depot. Bowater Home Center had old inventory, and they were only selling half of the products Home Depot were selling. Remodeling of the store wasn't as easy as expected. The best people of Home Depot had to work 12 hours a day in Bowater stores. This affected Home Depot's other stores, and sales began declining. During this time, the company's long-term debt rose from $4 million to $200 million, and finally, they had to restructure their debt to keep the company afloat. After the bad experience with Bowater Home Center, Bernie and Marcus had to think twice before buying another company. But that doesn't stop them expanding their business. Between 1997 and 2001, Home Depot did 3 successful acquisitions: San Diego Maintenance Warehouse, Apex Supplies, and Your Other Warehouse. San Diego Maintenance Warehouse was the leading direct mail marketer of maintenance and repairs of housing facilities. It was an excellent company on logistics, and they carried more quantity of product than Home Depot. When customers ordered large quantities of product, Home Depot could send them to the doorstep of the customers through San Diego Maintenance Warehouse. From the beginning, Home Depot always wanted to be the major player in the industry. When they set up a new store in a new city, they focused on marketing that particular store until they became number one in that area. They also believed the essence of non-stop reinvention to stay ahead of the competition. Whether it's the layout of the store, merchandising, or advertising, they change it regularly. While these things added up to their success, what really made them successful was their ridiculously low prices. In the early days, Home Depot offered great discounted prices every week. Their idea was to drive customers to the store, so customers would buy other items too. But that didn't happen. Customers only bought discounted items, and all the time, the store ran out of products. This also created a flurry of activities for the store workers, as they had to manually price discounted items every week. Around this time, Bernie and Arthur met Sam Walton, founder of Walmart, most successful retailer at the time. He suggested everyday low prices. In simple terms, discount is not only for specific items, but for the entire stock of the store. This everyday low prices gave a really big edge to the Home Depot stores over their competitors and made them the biggest home improvement retail store in the United States. One of the key reasons Home Depot could offer the lowest prices in market is their enormous buying power. Most retailers take 30 to 60 days to pay their vendors, but Home Depot is committed to pay their vendors less than 5 days, sometimes overnight. This allows them to get an additional discount from their vendors. In their early days, they didn't have the buying power they have now, but Bernie and Arthur, master negotiators, convinced vendors that Home Depot would be the biggest in the industry in the future. They also directly bought merchandise from manufacturers rather than wholesalers. By the time of the early 2000s, Home Depot had successfully expanded into a few other countries, including Canada and Mexico. Home Depot's international success mainly came through their ability to mix Home Depot's culture with local culture. When Home Depot opened its first store in Chile, 70% of the merchandise was manufactured inside the country. The company also trained 40 Chilean associates in the United States for 6 months before opening the store. With Bernie and Marcus stepping down as company directors, under new management, the company's main target was expanding their operation to China. In 2006, the company marked its presence in China by acquiring Chinese home improvement retailer HomeWay. With the booming real estate market, China seemed to be an easy success for Home Depot. But it didn't. While Americans took pride in DIY projects, Chinese consumers considered it as a poor man's work. Due to this, Home Depot didn't receive much customers, and the company had to close all of its Chinese stores in 2012. During the last decade, with improving home affordability, low interest rates, aging baby boomers spending more money on remodeling, millennials entering the housing market, the home improvement industry had a massive growth in the United States. Being the market leader, Home Depot really took advantage of this booming housing market, managing to increase their revenue from $70 billion in 2012 to $151 billion in 2022. Similarly, the company's stock price went up from $42 in 2012 to $306 in 2022. What is more remarkable is its overall stock price appreciation from the beginning to date. If you have invested $1,000 in Home Depot in 1981 when the company went public, your portfolio would be worth $11 million today. As of 2023, the company boasts a market cap of $325 billion and remains the third largest retailer in the world, falling only behind Amazon and Walmart. In terms of physical size, Home Depot has 2,312 stores in 7 countries, including the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The company also recently invested $1.2 billion in expanding its supply chain and distribution network and says it is building 150 new distribution centers to speed up the delivery process. Thanks for watching, guys. What is your experience with Home Depot? Please comment below, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. See you guys in the next video.